everybody. Welcome back to Understanding the Reason. I'm your host, Jerome Majette. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We got a lot to cover. We've been reading through my book, Understanding the Reason God Made Man, What Made Him Do It. It's 18 years of research, looking at scripture, looking at scientific data to answer these questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose, and what happens next? And so those of you who have been taking us up on the offer to pick up the book, pick up our shirt, and have been sending us selfies over on Facebook Messenger, thank you so much for doing that. I had someone who sent me a picture. I'm a little bit embarrassed by this, but I had somebody send me a picture, and I didn't get their name, so I'm gonna post it anyway because we gonna keep our word, regardless, right? But they sent us a really nice picture, so we're gonna go ahead and post that. Help me celebrate them. Also, at the end of the video, we're gonna post another one. So please help us to show some love to the people who are really liking what we're doing and encouraging us to do that. And if you take us up on our offer, we'll do the same thing for you, okay? So send me a picture, a selfie over on Facebook Messenger, and we'll get you posted, okay? So now let's talk about can continue our conversation that we were having. We were talking about science versus scripture, and we're talking about how evolution is being taught heavily all around the world, right? And we're challenging the premise that we came from an ape, right? How is it possible? Because when we look at what's happening right now, right, we're not talking about thousands and thousands of millions of years. Okay, we're talking about thousands of years. Human beings have been on this planet. We've never seen an ape have a child, a baby, a little girl, little boy, right? Right? We never seen that. And here's the reason why. Because when God created the universe, he created it under a law called the law of reciprocity, right? Now that law governs opposites, right? What goes up comes down. If you go in, you got to go out, right? If you have light, you have dark, right? If you have front, you have what? Back, right? And if you want to have a baby, a child, you got to have a male, and you have to have a what? Female. That's a law, right? And under that law is a principle called the seed principle. Well, the seed principle dictates that everything produces or reproduces after its own kind, whose seed is in itself. So when God created everything, he created everything after its own what? Kind. So it's impossible for an ape to have a child. But we have scientists. We have very intelligent people propagating this idea that we evolved into who we are now from a lesser life form, which it's impossible for that to happen under the seed principle, right? So apes they have offspring. Well, their offspring is what? An ape. Right? It's not a child, right? So we've been reading through my book. We're gonna start our reading today in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Now, here's the deal. Here's something that I want to share. So when he said subdue it, what is he talking about? Well, subdue means to control and literally control the whole entire earth. Well, it also indicates that God wanted us to live everywhere that's habitable on the planet. Okay, so since that's true, some places, man, is super cold. Some places is super hot, right? So how are we able to do this? Well, we're able to do this through something that we brought up at the end of our last video called polymorphism. So let's read what we got here in the book. In light of this ancient text, it can be argued that there is a capable or credible link to the human species' ability to evolve, right? But not in the way that we've been taught. But check this out. This is not to bolster evolutionist theories as to the definitive answer to the question of human origin. Through polymorphism, man has evolved based on God's command to be fruitful, dominate the earth, and subdue it. In other words, he encoded our foreparents with the ability to genetically adapt to their various climates, the ever-changing climates, right? So we have the ability to change according to the climate, right? And there's studies that actually prove, there's scientific studies that actually prove this, that this happened, right? One study is done by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Spencer Wales. Well, Dr. Wales put together a documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. But if you haven't seen it, it's powerful, man. It's real good. He's a geneticist, and what he put together is something called The Journey of Man. It is flat out one of the best documentaries I ever seen when it comes to an explanation of how the races came into being. And this thing is so powerful, bro. You got to check it out. You got to check it out, right? But let's continue. So this trait is passed on to subsequent generations through genetic markers as an adaptive response to the world's environment. Again, the charge was to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and subdue the earth. Embedded in this command was God's intent for man to make the entire earth his home. Sociologically, this has been proven beyond doubt. Okay, so that's happened, right? That's exactly, that's how you got people living in, Alaska, and people living over in Asia, and people living in Africa. That's how you got that, right? Now, moving on, during reproduction, the maternal and paternal gametes, called haploid cells, fuse together at conception, right? A gamete is a cell that fuses with another cell during fertilization in organisms that reproduce sexually. For instance, in a female, the gamete is called an ovum, right? An egg. This is stuff that we learned, man, when we was in school, right? If you went to my school, you learned this, right? Back in the day, we had, sex education, where they actually talked about the reproductive system, and how that's what got me. I'm gonna tell you what got me really excited about science, man, was going to sex education. Okay. Hey, don't judge me, man. Right? So the gamete in a male is called sperm, right? The union of these produce a zygote. A zygote is the initial cell formed when two gamete cells are joined by reproduction. In multicellular organisms, this joining results in the earliest developmental stage of the embryo, right? So this is science. This is stuff, man, that actually happens. So now, going back to what we're saying, is evolution real? It can't be. It can't be, right? So we're gonna pick this up, man. We're gonna get back into it. Definitely, if you guys take us up on our offer to pick up our book, pick up our merchandise, the links are in the description. Please send me a selfie once you do, and we will shout you out like we're getting ready to do. So I'm asking you, please stick around to the end of the video and show some love to the people that's showing us love and that's supporting the channel. So thank you again. You guys have an amazing week. We love you guys sincerely. God bless you. Peace.